Since 1983, FAME has helped business and education work for Maine. Contact the authority, the Finance Authority of Maine. You're watching Mainebiz Sunday, Maine's business news source.
Eliot Cutler made a splash when he joined the race for the Blaine House as an unenrolled candidate in August 2009. With his mix of political and private sector experience, Cutler has emerged as the major independent candidate for governor. His national political experience includes working for Senator Ed Muskie and serving as Associate Director of the Office of Management and Budget in the Carter administration. He also has private sector experience, having opened law firms in this country and in China. He moved back to Maine in 1999. Now he's running for governor, and today we'll ask him how a Cutler administration would help strengthen Maine's economy. Welcome.
Welcome.
Glad you could be here.
I'm delighted to be here.
Great. So the first part we're going to do is we're going to focus on kind of those 30,000-foot issues first of all. So first of all, just give me a brief overall assessment of the economy and the business climate in Maine.
I have said over and over and over, Alan, I think our economic activity is dead in the water. Population grew by 44,000 people in the last decade. We created 56 net new jobs. And in the period from January 1st of 2006 to December 31st of 2008, 3-year period, per capita income in Maine rose so that we rose from 34th to 31st in the country,
right,
unadjusted for cost of living,
right,
which pushes us down. 56% of that increase was from transfer payments, payments from governments, state, federal, assistance, Social Security, unemployment. That's not a productive economy, and that's what we have to change.
All right, so the soundbite there is dead in the water. But let me ask you about your predictions, too. What's your prediction for the economy? Where are we going? Is a double dip coming?
You mean the national economy?
National?
I think we're into a double dip. But the challenge in Maine, is to focus on our competitive advantages. We can be the comeback state of the next decade. I mean, this is the greatest single turnaround opportunity in America, public or private, state of Maine.
Okay.
It's a question of what we do, blaming the national recession for our problems. These are problems we've created for ourselves in Maine, and we can fix them in Maine.
I'm going to ask you the Sarah Palin question that got her in trouble last time. Who do you read in terms of the economy, and what shapes your thinking about economic and business issues? Who do you read every week, or what's your major influences?
I read, I read a lot of national publications. I read the Financial Times. I read the Wall Street Journal. I read Business Week. I read Forbes. I read Fortune. I'm a voracious reader, and I try to assimilate as much both information, analysis, and also opinion as I can.
That was actually a softball question. You're supposed to say Mainebiz.
Okay.
We'll let you get that one in later.
Huh?
Okay. You had worked in government before, so are you familiar with the expression, we're from the government, we're here to help you, and it's become, well, you're laughing because it's become quite the joke. What is the appropriate role of government and the governor as it relates to, at a state level, the economy and the business climate?
Well, I had a lot of fun with a candidate in the primaries who used to say that he was the job creator-in-chief.
Right.
And I used to say in all the forums that you can't create jobs. Governments don't create jobs. What governors can do, though, and what government can do, is change conditions. We can change the conditions in which private sector investors, individuals, businesses, either invest or don't invest. And today in Maine, we have a set of conditions that is driving investable capital out of the state of Maine and is stiff-arming investment from coming into Maine. A governor can change those. A governor and a legislature working together can change the cost of living and doing business in the state of Maine, change the cost structure.
Okay, and we're going to talk about some of those specific cost drivers and cost of doing business, because that's clearly a big issue for businesses in Maine.
It's a big issue for me.
I wanted to move on to talk about, congratulations, first of all, you've just inherited $1 billion, deficit that is. If you're governor, what do you do about that? Where do you start?
Well, let me say, first of all, let's get the context right.
Okay.
It's not just it's $1 billion operating deficit.
Right.
We have a multi-billion-dollar balance sheet deficit.
Right.
We have a $3.43 billion unfunded pension liability deficit. We have $3 to $4 billion of unfunded roads and bridges deficit where they need to be repaired or replaced. We owe the hospitals in Maine $300 million, and that debt's increasing at the rate of $250,000 a day. We are on the edge of a financial abyss. Now, the first thing we have to tackle is the operating deficit, the billion, whatever it's plus or minus a couple $100 million. It's going to be around $1 billion.
Right.
In a biennium. We've got a $2.9 billion budget where we go through the Appropriations Committee every year. We do it biannually, but it's a $2.9 billion every year. That's what we appropriate, that's what we spend. We also have $3.5 billion of tax expenditures, tax credits, tax deductions, tax breaks throughout the state economy. Those laws never go through the appropriations process. They get enacted, they get put on cruise control. The legislature never revisits them, never looks to see if they're working. We're going to have to take this entire $6.5 billion and we're going to have to zero base it.
Let me follow up on that. I mean, talk about the size of government, and because there are some, you'll have to cut state government, yes?
Oh, I have no question.
Okay. According to the Times record in a recent debate in Bath, you proposed to cut the government by forming, quote, forming a group structured similar to the BRAC Commission. That panel would review and cut state programs and agencies based on its findings without amendment by the legislature or the governor's office. They're going to be some folks who are not going to be happy with it. How would that work?
The commission proposed commission, and the governor, I mean, is operating in the executive branch of the government, and it proposes to the legislature, as in the federal BRAC process, the cuts that we have to make, structural cuts, changes in the way we do business in the state of Maine. Now, the reason that the Congress formed the BRAC process in the first place was because it had to get out of its own way. Well, that's true of most legislative bodies when it comes time to cutting programs and cutting government. We need to do that in Maine. And in Maine, in the next biennium or two, virtue can be the mother of, necessity, pardon me, can be the mother of virtue.
Okay. So you think that you'll have success in terms of working that through the legislature?
I think I'll be able to work with the legislature because I think the legislature gets up, members of the legislature get up every morning and want to do the right thing for the state of Maine, and I want to help do that too.
Okay. Well, it's good to hear that you think that, because that's the kind of attitude I think an independent especially is going to have.
Has to have.
Since you're an independent, you have to pass a test to make sure you're a qualified candidate. Can you complete this phrase? This year it's all about jobs, jobs,
and jobs.
Hey, you're in.
You're in. Thank you.
But that is the mantra, obviously, now. So you were going to talk more about creating jobs.
It's the mantra, Alan, but it's a simple mantra. It's really about investment.
Okay.
And attracting investment to the state of Maine.
Private
and keeping
investment.
investable capital, yes, sir, and keeping it in the state of Maine.
Okay. Define for me, what is a good job? What kind of a job? What kind of salary? What is it? When you think about good jobs, what is it?
Well, historically in Maine, good jobs have been skilled jobs. Either skilled, semi-professional, professional. Our workforce in the state of Maine has been and remains one of our strongest competitive advantages. Our problem in Maine is that the average age of our skilled workforce is in the late 40s and moving into the early 50s. You know, the newest Poland Spring bottling plant in Maine has a workforce, skilled workforce, that's in its late 40s.
We're going to wrap this first segment there, but we're going to come back and talk about that investment, especially in education and workforce development, so stick with us. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Eliot Cutler, independent candidate for governor.
Mainebiz Sunday is brought to you by Bangor Savings Bank, where you can enjoy free ATMs worldwide.